It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me.
Young people, take notes. That is the best thing that can happen here. When an elderly person says, I've gone before you and these are the mistakes I've made, don't make it. That is the best gift any elderly person can give you, because it means you can make better choices. The bad choices leaves them desolate, and you see that desolation, and that person is strong and wise enough to say, look, this is my reality, but you don't have to have that same reality. She has to depend on God's second chance, but you can make a better choice so that you don't even have to be at that point. And it's unfortunate because young people don't see these videos where older women at 46 are crying on TikTok, talking about how they made a major mistake, they let go of a good man, and now they're over 40 and they're alone and they wish they had made better decisions. Young men don't get to see men alone in their house who are wishing, oh, I wish I had a lady. They don't see those videos, and it's unfortunate.
Is it okay if I ask you one quick question? What's one thing you regret in life?
Not marrying early.
How come?
I married late and I didn't have kids. I married it when I was 41, and then I got my menopause too early, so I couldn't have kids.
Can I give you a hug?
Sure.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
And this is something that you will hear commonly with women who are childless and single in their 40s, 50s, and above, is you will hear them regretting the fact that they did not get married young and they did not have kids young. Those are the two biggest things that you will hear a lot, right? For these women, from these women who are in their, usually their late 40s, in their 50s and above. Right? And you notice, ironically, these are usually also the women that they do not feature on the mainstream news with the mainstream media. Whenever they're talking about feminism, or whenever they're featuring women who are like leaders in their industries, they don't feature these women. Instead, they usually feature women who are still in their late 20s or early 30s. Women who have not yet crossed that pendulum, so to speak, right? They usually feature women who are a little bit younger. However, they never catch up with these women once they hit their late 40s and 50s and beyond, because they know what the truth is going to be. A lot of these women are not happy, right? A lot of these women are very miserable. A lot of these women are lonely. A lot of these women are on antidepressants, Zoloft, Lexapro, Celexa. Those are just some of the ones that come off the top of my head, right? So a lot of these women are just not feeling fulfilled because maternally, I mean, all women have these maternal instincts to get married and have children. Yet they have been convinced, indoctrinated, and brainwashed to believe that that's so outdated. That's so caveman. Ooh, that's so Neanderthalic. I don't do that. I'm a modern woman. I want to be strong, independent, have my own career, have my own money. I want to have a brand new BMW. I want to have a house in the hills. I don't need a man. It's like, yeah, anytime they feature any of that malarkey, it's coming from a woman who is still in her 20s, if not her early 30s. And it's easy to be all big and bad and talk all that smack when you're still somewhat young. However, once you hit your middle ages and you start veering towards 50, you start to change your mind. Because now it's like, okay, I've been working in this cubicle for the last 20 years, this tiny cubicle, and sitting in rush hour traffic 4 hours a day back and forth for the last 2 decades. What has that gotten me? Sure, I can pay my own bills, but that doesn't keep me warm at night. A lot of these women will start to ask themselves like, okay, Christmas is coming. What am I going to do at Christmas? All the clubs are closed, right? Everybody's with their families. All my friends that I grew up with, they're with their children, they're with their families. Where am I going to go? Am I going to go just hang out with my parents like I'm 15 years old again? What am I going to do? Right? And they start to feel lonely. You know, whereas for us, for guys, it's so different, by the way. I mean, for guys, I mean, we could be in our 40s, 50s. Hey, it's Christmas. Whatever, right? I mean, we'll do what we need to do, right? Oh, what's open on Christmas? Jack in the Box. Oh man, I'm gonna get the 2 taco deal. You know, I mean, we just make the most of it. Whereas for women, it really hits home when they don't have somebody. Okay, it really hits home. Back when I had my 6-girl dating rotation, there was like I want to say there were at least 2 girls in my dating rotation who their families were all the way back east and they didn't want to fly, or they weren't planning to fly all the way back home. But like it was a month or 2 before Christmas and they were already hitting me up for like, hey Matt, I know I'm just in your dating rotation, but do you have plans for Christmas? I really don't want to be alone. I'm going to feel so lonely if I'm by myself. And I was kind of like, well, I don't like to make plans that far ahead, but we'll see what happens. And then, of course, like some other girl in my dating rotation said almost exactly the same thing. And they were still young. They were still in their 20s. I'm like, imagine these girls being in their 30s or 40s, you know, if not their 50s, talking about being lonely. I mean, it's going to hit 10 times harder. You know, this is why you need to have family, right? This is what gives you joy. When you do hit your middle ages, like especially your 40s and 50s, what gives you joy is the fact that you have lots of family members around you. You have not only your own kids, but you might even have some grandkids now. You get to look forward to their graduations, their birthdays, any special events that they have. That is what fulfills you. I mean, that is what fulfilled my grandmothers, right? I would always get these like Christmas cards, they'd have money in them. Birthday cards, they have money in them, you know, graduation, my grandmothers were even there. I mean, they were so proud, you know, and it's like, they lived for that stuff. I always said my grandmothers were always busy. They were always busy with like either their own kids, which were my parents, or grandkids, which were me and my brothers and sisters, right? They always had something to do. You know, we'd go on vacations together too. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I remember we all went to Disneyland a few times. Me, my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my grandmothers came. It was a great memory. It was so much fun, you know, and they were never at a loss, right? And my grandmothers lost their husbands at least a couple of decades before they passed on, right? They lost their husbands, you know, decades before, but they weren't really that lonely because they had us. But imagine if they were like a lot of these modern women today, you're going to have a lot of lonely ladies coming up, man. And we're already starting to see the effects of feminism. I mean, not only based on the research, right, which is very telling, but just by observational reality. You see a lot of these women, even on social media, complaining about the fact of how they regret their decision. They regret, I mean, you know, that at the end of the day, the money that they made at their professional job, you know, the new cars they were able to buy, it's just not fulfilling to them, right? It doesn't have the same meaning to them that that a husband would or a family would, because that's what gives these women fulfillment. And like I said, when it comes to the news, the fake news media, what they feed a lot of these women is that, or what they display for a lot of people to see, for other women to see, is usually women who are still young, you know, fairly young, in their late 20s and early 30s. You will almost never, ever, 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 ever see them feature anyone who is in their late 40s, 50s, and beyond, right? Because it won't fit their narrative. Because those women will probably tell the truth and be like, hey, it's not all it's cracked up to be. You know, going after all these advanced degrees, you know, and getting my doctorate and getting my master's, and then spending a lifetime, you know, job hopping and spending a lifetime on Tinder and Bumble and going on numerous first dates every single year was not fulfilling. You know, banging all sorts of different men that never stuck around was not fulfilling. Right? You'll hear this more and more, guys. Believe me. As time goes by, you're going to hear more and more of these women start to tell the truth. But as always, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video in the comments. Any stories you would like to share them with the tribe below. Anything that I might have missed, anything that I did not cover, please drop them in the comments below. I always love to see you guys in my comments. I always love to read your comments, so please feel free to drop your comments below. As always, this is M from the 33 Secrets, signing out here. Don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure that if you love my work, if you love what I'm teaching here, it's adding value to your life, if you want to help me out, jump into 7 months of mastery. You're going to get a ton of value out of it. This is my personal program where I teach you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women in the world. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s. I'm not talking about single moms, divorced single moms, damaged women over 30, women with 5 therapists. No, I'm talking about the cream of the crop, just young, attractive, beautiful, and very classic and traditional women who are not like modern women. I teach you where to find these girls, how to cold approach them, and how to bring them into your life. I have many successful students around the world now, many of which have gotten married and had children and had families. It's crazy, with women that are, that are beyond, let's say, a bit out of their league, to put it nicely, right? They were able to get women who were more attractive than they would normally have gotten if they hadn't been in mastery, and women that they probably would not have found if they had never gone through my mastery program and learned my teachings, right? So I teach you this stuff, and I teach you from a red pill perspective. I'm a professional pickup artist. I've been out there for the last 3 decades now. I've been coaching men since the 90s, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I know how to find these girls. I still go out to this very day, and so I'm still fresh in the game, and you're going to learn a ton and get a ton out of value out of my 7 months of mastery program, right? And it's really easy to sign up. Well, right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, so take advantage of it. All you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.